We are all swimming in data. But let's be honest, how much of that data actually helps you win? Today, we're going to dive into a really powerful solution inside SAP S4Hana that's all about turning that mountain of data into real-time, actionable insights, right where you need them, right when you need them.
So, does this sound familiar? Your sales teams have numbers coming out of their ears. They are literally drowning in data, but they're starving for actual insight. You know all the information is in there somewhere, but getting a straight answer to a simple, critical question feels like a huge ordeal. This means your best people are spending more time digging for data than actually selling.
And that really gets to the heart of the modern sales challenge. It's not about a lack of data, it's about the daily roadblocks that get in the way of using it effectively. So before we jump to the solution, let's quickly break down what those roadblocks actually look like day to day.
Just think about these questions for a second. These aren't some kind of crazy abstract queries, right? These are the absolute basics of running a sales operation. Hey, are we behind on back orders? Which of our quotes are actually turning into sales? For way too many teams, getting a quick, reliable answer is a constant struggle. It's a recipe for missed opportunities and always being in fighting fire mode.
So how do we fix this? How do we tear down those roadblocks? Well, the answer isn't just another dashboard or a new set of spreadsheets. No, the real breakthrough comes when you put the analytics exactly where the work is already happening.
And this is the core idea we're talking about, embedded analysis. All it means is delivering real-time insights and KPIs directly inside the apps your team's already using all day long. Just imagine that for a moment. No more logging into a separate system, no more exporting data to spreadsheets, and definitely no more waiting for somebody else to run a report for you. And this comparison really just lays it all out. You go from the old way, waiting around for separate, often old reports, to the new way, where you have instant KPIs right there on your screen. Your decision-making stops being reactive, based on what happened last month. It becomes proactive and totally data-driven based on what is happening right now. Okay, so that's the big idea. But what does this actually look like in practice? For a sales rep who's in the trenches every single day. Let's actually go inside a real analytical app to see how it works.
We're going to use a perfect example here, the Incoming Sales Orders app. This is a core tool in SAP S4Hana Sales, and it's where a sales team member spends a huge chunk of their day, just managing the flow of the business.
And here's the magic. The entire workflow is in one place. You start with your high-level KPIs like a dashboard. You see something interesting that needs a closer look? Boom! You can drill down instantly, by product, by region, whatever you need. If you spot a trend, you can create a detailed report with just a click. And, this is the most important part, you can then take action right from that same screen. You never have to leave or break your concentration. Now, having easy access to data is one thing. That's great. But the real goal here, the whole point, is to turn that raw data into genuinely actionable insight. The kind of insight that actually moves the business forward. And maybe the single biggest benefit of all of this, you get one single source of truth. Think about it. When everyone from the newest sales rep to the VP of sales is looking at the exact same real-time data, the arguments just stop. The whole conversation shifts from, well, are your numbers right? To, okay, based on these numbers, what's the right decision?
This is also just incredibly powerful for managing performance. You can literally set your sales targets in the system and then track your team's actual performance against those goals as it's happening. You know instantly if you're on track, which teams are knocking it out of the park, and maybe where you need to step in and offer some help.
I love this quote because it just perfectly captures the entire shift in mindset. This kind of technology empowers your teams to stop looking in the rearview mirror, always asking, so what happened last quarter? Instead, it gives them the insight they need to look forward and confidently ask, all right, what's next and how do we win?
So let's kind of zoom out and bring this all together. What does this really mean for the future of sales? We're not just talking about a cool new feature or a slicker looking report here. This really represents a fundamentally new way to run your business.
At the end of the day, it all boils down to this. Real-time insight is the new competitive advantage. The ability to see, to understand, and to act on what's happening in your business faster than your competition, that isn't a nice to have anymore. It's absolutely essential for success in today's market.
So, I'll just leave you with this final thought to take back to your own business. If your sales data could answer any one question for you instantly and perfectly, right this second, what would you ask? Because the answer to that question, that's where you'll find the true power of what we've been talking about today.